Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to World of Greed. Yes, World of Tanked Blitz. Now, we knew it was coming. We see leaks. There is a new tank, and it is available in the draw. And to be fair, the tank's decent. The tank is all right, but these draws, this particular draw is so freaking greedy. It is unbelievable. So Wargaming try and sort of make it a little bit better by giving everyone a free golden ticket that you can use in the draw. So at least they're giving you a free ticket, but don't take that free ticket and think that you're going to win the tank, because you are definitely not. And it's the way that they are doing these draws. So the draw is basically a golden ticket draw. So you have to have a golden ticket to be able to use the draw. Now, the price of the tickets, they're not for gold, of course, they are for money. And as you can see here, £20 for 22 tickets, etc., etc. £10 for 10 tickets. It is honestly a rip-off. It is greed, and these draws should never be in the game. The amount of money that you're gonna have to spend to guarantee the brand new tank is unbelievable. It's like over £2,000 or something stupid like that. So it is, of course, the Chieftain proto, which we are going to look at. We're going to look at the stats and get into a couple of games. So stat wise, the turret is 230 mil, the hull is 127, so a decent turret. We are looking at a tier 9 tank, so yeah, it's not the best armor profile, but the turret is pretty decent if you're using the gun depression. You got a DPM of 2,384. Now bear in mind, this is all stock, this is without any equipment, etc., etc., but we will look at all the equipment in a short while. So your penetration is 260 on your APCR, 310 on your premium APCR, and 110 on your HE. So of course you do have HESH. 400 alpha, 340 on your premium, and 515 on your HESH. Your aim time is 4.8 standard, and your gun dispersion 0.326, and you do have 10 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 42 kilometers per hour. So stat wise, it's not too bad. Now we've got a free ticket, let's just use it and let's win 500 gold. Now 99% of the player base will win 500 gold, and this is what I hate. So look at the 500 golds and the 350 gold and the 250 gold. There is 500 of each, so you need 2,000 tickets just to clear those four, like the lowest. 2,500 of each. So you're going to buy like 1,500 tickets, however much that will cost, and all you're ever going to get is one of them. You might get lucky and get the 5,000, or you might get lucky and get the 10,000. You're never getting the 20,000, the 100,000, and the 50,000 until the very, very end. But for the amount of money that you're going to have to spend, it is honestly incredible with the amount of money, and I would not suggest anyone to spend money on these containers. They are such a rip-off, and honestly, just don't do it. It is a rip-off. Don't do it. You will be wasting your money. Wait a few months for the tank to come back in either crates or even just a normal draw, or of course for gold. So as you can see, when we fully equip the tank, so 230 mil of turret armor, as we know, 127 on your hull. So yeah, the armor profile is not the best, but the turret is okay. You've got a DPM of 2,657. This is with running the rammer, so not too bad for a tier 9 heavy. That is a 9-second reload. So your penetration when you run the rammer, as we've seen, is 260, 310, and 110. So because of the because of the HE, I would recommend running it with calibrated shells. 400 alpha, 340, and 515, as you can see there. Your aim time is 3.7, and then your gun dispersion is 0.308. So not too bad for the pair of them. And of course, as we've said, you have 10 degrees of gun depression and a top speed of, what did we say, 42 kilometers per hour with 15 in reverse. Your average speed is 29, so you know, a little bit, quite a lot slower than your top speed. And when you run it with calibrated shells, you can see your HE pen goes up to 119. So I would definitely run this tank with calibrated shells. Again, it's a shame because, like I said, Wargaming, if they just done the gold draws, you know, just gold, and don't add a tank in there, then, you know, fair enough. But the fact that adding a brand new tank into this gold draw, it is so annoying, because there's going to be so many players that want this tank. There's going to be so many players that want a new tank. They can see the brand new tank and they're going to try and spend money on the game. But honestly, no one's ever really going to buy 2,000 tickets. And even if they did, yes, they're going to get a lot of gold back, but that's only the 500s and the 250s adding up to 2,000. So yes, you will get quite a bit of gold. But honestly, £2,500 roughly to be able to guarantee the tank, like, unless you're lucky and you get it on your first free ticket, which, come on, let's be fair, no one's gonna do. No, but the odd person, maybe 0.001% of people might be able to get it on their first draw. Now, all while they've done the lucky draws, I have never got anything on my first spin, like never. So it's not going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen, you'll be stupid in thinking so. But, you know, at least they are given a free ticket. But is that just to try and worm their way, like to try and make it a little bit better? Like, oh, we've got these golden tickets. You can win this tank. Here, have a free ticket. So, you know, I'm not complaining that you get a free ticket. At the end of the day, I've just got 500 gold for free. But, you know, I'm never buying these golden tickets, because they are just an absolute rip-off. They really, really are. So the tank, it's not a bad tank. It is actually quite a nice tank, I'm not going to lie. But is it worth buying the golden tickets? Of course not. Don't be stupid. It is never worth buying. It doesn't matter what tank they add in it. It could be the most overpowered tier 10 tank. It could be a freaking tier 11 tank, and it is still not worth adding a tank or trying to get the tank in that golden tickets. Just wait a few months. It will be back. Yes, it may be back in a normal draw, or it might be back in crates, which you can actually probably guarantee after 30 crates, or it will come for either real money or it will come for gold. So for the sake of a few months, if you're one of those that is happy to go and spend $2,500 just to get one tank, then more for you. Honestly, you will be a mug if you do that. At the end of the day, it's your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own money, but I just think you'd be very, very stupid if you do that. And at the end of the day, as I've said, yes, you are getting a decent tank. It's not overpowered in any way, I don't think. You will get a few bounces on the turret especially, not so much on the hull. But you know, it's definitely not worth the money that we are currently looking at, that you're gonna have to spend. So one more game on Castilla now. Now this game I actually mess up like really, really bad, but you know, I managed to drag it back. The enemy helped me. There was some noob enemy teams, so I'm going to the left now. I've got my mind set on the left side, but in the middle. So as you can see, I'm just going to go down the middle here. I think it's got enough speed on sort of this kind of ground, this terrain, to get there pretty quickly. And what I want to do is sort of skip this part, hope that there is no enemy tank destroyers or their heavy tank, and then go straight up. Now unfortunately the Conway is waiting. Luckily for me, he doesn't look at me, the same as the WZ. He's not looking at me, he is looking at my teammate. So you know, I pretty much got away from there untouched. So that I'm happy days, and this is the kind of position that I wanted to be in. Now I really wanted to be in this position because I know that the enemy only had one heavy, and I know they've got a couple of tank destroyers and of course a couple of lights and medium tanks. So I really wanted to get into this position, most importantly to open up any tank destroyer that is sitting around this sort of area of the map. Now unfortunately the Samoa behind me is getting shot from the Conway, and of course the WZ is on his way. So you know, as you can see, reverse is quite slow, so do be careful when reversing. I wouldn't recommend trying to reverse. Just turn around. I think the traverse isn't great either, so again, just something to be mindful about. But no, hopefully you won't have to be mindful, because hopefully no one even has this tank and no one's going to get this tank, because again, to spend that much money on a certain tank, you will be very, very stupid. So we managed to do our part, 2,000 damage. This Progetto is just going to rush into me, and then he does die on his own, leaving now just 2 tanks left against 6. So, you know, it's already going to be a victory, no problem. It's all about how much damage I can actually end this game on. So we are on 2.7k and just 1 tank left, which is the Waffenschläger. That is full hit point, well, pretty much full hit points at the moment. So a nice 400 there just brings my damage over the 3,000 mark, and hopefully I can just farm a little bit more. But there is 5 other tanks to try and farm this damage, but luckily I'm the closest. I'm able to get 1 more HE in to get the kill. So overall 3,492 damage done. And as I've said, it's a nice tank. It is a nice tank. It's not overpowered in any way, but it is a nice tank. But for the money, yeah, stay away from the tank. And I hope Wargaming never do these lucky draws, because they're not lucky. They're called lucky draws. £2,500 that you have to spend to guarantee the tank is not lucky. So stop doing in Wargaming. It is greed. And let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, bye bye.